Howdy! My name is Haley, and I'm an engineering student at the University of Colorado Boulder studying creative technology and design. For today's lesson, we're going to focus on pulleys. We'll explore what pulleys are, their different types, and why engineers rely on them to accomplish tasks both big and small. Let's go back in time to nearly 4,600 years ago, when the Great Pyramids were under construction by the Egyptians. While we'll never know for sure just how these massive structures came to be, we can infer that the Great Pyramids were likely built by a simple machine known as the pulley. Pulleys are the basis of modern machines that we use every day. Most often, a pulley consists of a string or rope wrapped around a wheel, with one end of the string attached to an object and the other end attached to a person or motor. While the mechanics of a pulley are rudimentary, it's a vital machine to humankind because it makes any lifting task so much easier to accomplish. Pulleys function by changing the direction of the force that's needed to lift an object. Think of it this way. Is it easier for you to pull up or pull down on a rope? It's down, right? By using a pulley, we don't have to pull up on a rope to lift a heavy object attached to it, but instead we can pull down, which lets us use gravity to our advantage. And by attaching weights to the end of the rope, you can actually lessen the amount of force that you need to apply to get an object to move. A flagpole is a great example of this. When you pull down on the rope of a flagpole, the flag goes up the pole right to the top with almost no effort at all. There are three basic types of a pulley that are used depending on the needs of the job: fixed, movable, and compound. A fixed pulley has a wheel that is secured in a single spot. So, the pulley itself stays in place while the load moves with the rope. A movable pulley has a pulley attached to the object itself. One end of the rope is affixed to a point, and the other end of the rope is free. A compound pulley is a combination of a fixed and movable pulley, which maximizes the mechanical advantage of the system. You'd be surprised just how common pulleys appear in our everyday lives. Recently, you might have passed by a construction site where a crane is almost certainly in use. Construction cranes are actually pulleys that are used to lift heavy building materials. Who knew? Or maybe you hit the gym recently to get some gains. Almost all weight machines have a pulley mechanism that allows you to move a weight up and down, or back and forth. Have you traveled by bike anywhere? The mechanism that allows you to pedal a bike is a pulley, and the object that you're moving is yourself. Do your house's windows have a blind covering? You open and close blinds by using a pulley. Hey, no peeking. The magic doesn't end here. Over time, we figured out that if we combine several pulleys together into a compound pulley system, we can stack their strengths to be able to lift extremely heavy objects. A block and tackle is an example of a pulley system that can be attached to anything. It may take a lot of cable or rope, but a human using enough pulleys could lift several tons with this system. Engineers use the block and tackle, along with motors and electronics, to create modern devices that operate with super low power requirements. At shows and concerts, engineers even use systems of pulleys to make people fly or hover in the sky. Pulleys are powerful, simple machines. As I mentioned earlier, while we don't know if pulleys were used by ancient pyramid builders, we do know that pulleys are the ideal simple machine to accomplish many of the tasks required to build a pyramid. Today, Understanding how pulleys work allows modern engineers to design machines like elevators, bulldozers, cranes, and more. Could you construct a pulley or pulley system to overcome a challenge in your life? Or could you think of a way that pulleys can help solve a problem in your community? That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Check out the full lesson on the Teach Engineering website. Then, apply what you learned about pulleys and our associated activity, pulleying your own weight.